Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Another video I want to do on a product that I just picked up. Two products. I will put links in the description. It's going to be a shorter video. I try to keep my videos within 15 minutes, but when it's something that has like a discussion where I have a lot to say about a specific topic, they go on. And you guys know I tend to really, I can talk. What can I say? So the part I want to share with you guys today is this right here. And this is a muffler. So I am replacing, after about 10 or 11 years, the exhaust system on my Honda Accord. Most of the exhaust is 20 years. The only parts on that car, as far as the exhaust system, a little bit of history about how long it lasted. It's a 2000. The car is going to be 21 years old this coming September. It was factory catalytic converter. Factory pipe all the way back to resonator, factory resonator, and the exhaust, two different exhausts I've had have been welded up to factory resonator. The piping from the factory, the catalytic converter finally failed. It was rattling really bad. There was something loose in there. Time to replace that. Factory piping wasn't bad, but the flanges were completely rusted. I tried everything to get those flanges off just so I could salvage the pipe and replace the cat. Unfortunately, I tried heating the nut. I tried heating and then flash cooling the nut. I tried cutting it off. Ultimately, I had to cut the whole exhaust off. It was just too badly rusted to really salvage. And then you want to, you're going through all the trouble of putting on new mufflers. You might as well spend the extra money, the extra couple $100s, and just get everything new. You're going to get more life out of it. So again, those things lasted me 20 years. The manifold was fine, but I had replaced that about 8 years ago with 8 or 9 years ago with an eBay stainless steel header. $68. There was nothing wrong with it. The downpipe I had worn a hole in, so I had to get a whole new header. Ordered another one for $68. I have had no problem with eBay parts. That's always an argument with some guys. I personally have had great luck. I don't race. I don't drive like a maniac. I'm not subjecting these parts to a lot of stress where you need to have something of really super high quality. These parts have been great. As far as the exhaust, I've gone through two. The original one was about 10 years, not the original, but the original one came off a week after I got the car in 1999. I had an exhaust put on, single exhaust with a pseudo muffler. That eventually rusted, not the muffler, but the aluminized pipe. Got about 10 years out of it. Put a new exhaust on with dual pipes. That was actually, I took that off the other day. The piping was fine, the mufflers had rusted out. So check out my other video where I talk about some of the things to expect with certain certain eBay items and just, everybody's gonna have different experiences. I'm just giving you guys mine. So this time around, I wanted to try a Flowmaster. I never did Flowmasters on a Honda before or on a 4-cylinder. I'm hoping I like the way it sounds. I always recommend the Flowmaster on a V8. Even though I didn't put them on the Jag, I will eventually replace that system and put on Flowmaster. So these are not Flowmasters, if you haven't realized that already. These are generic copies of Flowmasters. And I can tell you, I've had Flowmasters on two vehicles now. My 73 Chevy with the big block, and then on my 96 Sonoma with the 4.3 liter, I had 40 series dual chamber Flowmasters. This, as far as quality, build, construction, as far as I can tell, it looks exactly the same. It feels exactly the same. The welds look exactly the same. I mean, side by side, these are identical. They're made a little bit about the construction right off the box here, which I'm not going to show you. Fully MIG welded for maximum durability. You have they are available in aluminized steel. That's what these are, painted red. You have stainless steel, but those will come painted black for some reason. And then you have polished stainless steel. Price point on these, unbelievable. These are like a third the price of Flowmasters. These are $21 shipped to your door. A couple different variations. You can get single in, dual out. You can get dual in, dual out, single in, single out like this. You get offset inlet, offset outlet. You can get center inlet, offset outlet. Price is a little different in each one. I chose these because I have the room under there to kind of put these how I want them. I did offset inlet, offset outlet. So however they have to finagle these to put them in there, they're way smaller than the mufflers I'm replacing or any factory muffler. There is room on there. The only downside to these is that you got to buy a tip with them, and tips are where you're going to spend the money. For two Z28 style rectangular exhaust tips, which was still a pretty good deal, all stainless steel, they were about 60 bucks. So when you look at some of the mufflers that you can get on eBay, and I do recommend eBay parts, I do recommend eBay mufflers. I've had great luck with those. Expect for inexpensive parts that are stainless steel like that. I know you say, oh, stainless steel, that should last forever, and it should, but there are different levels of stainless steel. My experience with eBay type mufflers that are made of stainless steel that are in the $50 for 2 range, even something this would be equivalent to that quality, you're going to be getting about 10 years out of them before they start to develop problems. Again, it's not a guarantee. I've had those mufflers, the stainless steel style ones, on my Solara. Over 10 years, not a sign of wear whatsoever. So it really depends on your driving conditions and what kind of weather you have. You know, again, remember, your exhaust gases are acidic. They're gonna, even if you don't drive in any bad weather at all, and you drive the car, mileage is eventually going to wear out your exhaust system unless it's true stainless steel. But I don't mind replacing every 10 years or so. It gives me the opportunity to try something new, which is why I'm doing the Flowmasters. Now on a V8, I always recommend the Flowmaster. On a V6, still. On a 4-cylinder, you'll just have to wait and see what I have to say with the video or when I get this system put on. So a little bit about these. I'm doing 2.5-inch pipe from factory resonator back. I have a header that I put on the car. I have a replacement header coming. Nothing wrong with the downpipe. I wore a hole in it. I'm hoping the muffler guy can maybe build or fabricate a slight skid plate to maybe protect that flex joint. Something in there, because I scraped it on the ground or on my driveway or my parents' driveway just enough, a little bit, and now if the car is about 1/4 inch lower, it's worse. So I need something to protect that. If I can't get him to do something like that, I'm probably going to bring the car up 1/4 inch just to give me that clearance, because you don't want to be wearing out your parts like that. I mean, some guys don't mind. I don't want to go through the hassle. So it will be factory piping. I have a replacement Walker cat back system that will go to a factory resonator. That'll terminate after the resonator, and the muffler guy, the exhaust shop, will build out a 2.5-inch pipe, new piping to this right here, eBay stainless steel wide pipe. This is going to save fabrication time, because it's cheaper to buy one of these for $19 than have a guy fabricate you a wide pipe. And this is going to look a lot prettier, and this is stainless steel. Is this the stainless steel that's never going to wear out? Time will tell. So, and I'll always come back and let you guys know about the quality. And as far as, and with that being said, I have an extra muffler in my garage that came off the Honda, brand new, and I'm going to point out some of the issues I've had with the muffler, just so you guys are aware of what to expect if you do buy some of these parts off eBay. So this, as far as I can tell, again, construction, Flowmasters are never stainless steel anyway. Maybe they make them now, but they're always like an aluminized steel. Again, chambered internal construction is available in polished stainless steel. Those are going to run you about double the price. Still a great price. I almost went with those, but for the price point, $21, I'll replace it in 10 years if I have to. So these are single chamber mufflers. This is made to copy your Flowmaster 10 series, which is their race muffler. It is their loudest muffler they make. I've had the exhaust on the car with just the resonator when I cut the 2 mufflers off due to the wear. It's quieter with those 2 mufflers on, but not an insane difference. So the fact that these are race mufflers, I know even if they're, you know, I mean, they don't muffle at all. Even if they don't, then I know that it's not going to be over the top loud. It's not going to be like a straight open pipe, which is how the car is now sitting in my driveway, and it is just terrible. So just keep that in mind. So again, right off the bat, if you're in the market for Flowmasters, I encourage you guys to check these out. As far as I can tell, these are exactly the same as far as the baffling, the construction, other than the fact that they're red. So check them out, $21. You really, I don't think, can go wrong for that price. And for those of you who say, oh, well, you know, it's not going to sound the same as a Flowmaster, this is going to sound exactly the same as a Flowmaster. Again, it hasn't been on, I don't have my V8, my old 73 Chevy anymore to put one on one side and one on the other, but I can tell you, just based on how Flowmasters work, my experience with owning Flowmasters, and I love the way Flowmasters sound, again, on a V6 or a V8, it's a no-brainer, although I didn't put them on my Jag. I am going to put these on the Jag too, so stay tuned for that video eventually. But again, the only downside, you got to buy tips, and the tips, you know, the eBay ones, they come with the tips on the mufflers. They look beautiful. They're all stainless steel. For about $50-$60, you get 2 mufflers. And guys, really, most mufflers are really, if you're not getting a Flowmaster style chambered muffler, you're really just buying a glass pack. Whatever they look like, it's still a glass pack, which has got your perforated holes, your packing, not really much of a difference. So just keep that in mind. when you want to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a muffler, guys, if you're not in the track racing and you're really like me, you want to look good, maybe get a little sound out of it. I don't personally think there's a muffler on earth that you're going to put on a factory stock car and really gain a lot of horsepower out of. And these aren't V8s that are really needing to breathe. And keep in mind, with technology, I know, and again, I don't want you guys to come at me and be like, that's not true. In my opinion, when you put an exhaust on a Honda Accord, like my year, the most horsepower you're going to get is maybe 5. Maybe 5. And there's a lot of other factors that determine that. If you're going to bring air out quicker, you got to bring air in quicker. So again, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a performance guy. I can just tell you my experience, and no parts I've ever put on my Honda has ever really made me say, oh man, I could feel that difference. I mean, I never had that happen. Even with my big block V8, I never really had that happen. So I know there are guys who have a super restrictive system from the factory. They'll throw a system on, maybe you can feel the difference. I think you just hear the difference personally, but definitely check these out. I'm again huge fan of Flowmasters, even though these aren't Flowmasters. Oh, and the name, I should probably tell you that, but guys, you guys know I put links in the description of every video. Totalflow. These are by Totalflow. So again, everything about these, it's almost like they came from the same factory. Even the way they have inlet on the side, I mean, they feel exactly like a Flowmaster. So check them out, guys. Let me know if you have these. Let me know if you have any experience with these. I've watched a few videos where guys who've had both, and they kind of tell you the same story. I do feel like, again, that you can get amazing parts, great quality parts for really cheap. If you're going to buy a Flowmaster, buy the real deal. I can almost guarantee you're not going to have any difference in sound quality or performance. This thing's pretty much straight through. I mean, I can see through the other side. So not a lot of muffling when it comes to these. Definitely, if you are putting these on a V8, use caution. Some guys are like, oh yeah, I'm going to put these on, I want it to be loud, but they don't really realize how loud it's going to be putting on a race muffler like this. But keep in mind, even with any muffler you put on, it's going to increase the volume of the vehicle. It's not like a factory exhaust system. So if you're very picky about your volume, Flowmaster has a couple really great videos where they demonstrate the sound. Again, you're not going to be able to experience that or hear that on a YouTube video. What you'll hear a difference in sound, but you can't actually know what that sounds like. And I can tell you that 40 series Flowmaster mufflers on a 4.3 liter V6 Sonoma and on a big block V8, the big block V8's loud. I mean, low cats, 3-inch pipe, it's loud. It starts up, your neighbors are going to hear you. Same thing with the Sonoma. Start it up, cold start, you're going to hear it, but it's not over the top. If you keep your factory resonator, nothing you do is going to be really crazy. It's when you start deleting those things, that's when you start to develop issues with the sound. And again, you may be the kind of person who wants it super obnoxious and loud. I'm not. I like the car to just have a great sound, as deep as I could possibly get it without sounding really annoying. I don't want to slam on the gas and have people like walking turn and be like, oh God, that's annoying. With a V8, you slam on, that's a different story. V8s, you really, I mean, as loud as it is, it's still a V8. It's all muscle, when you hear it. And that's just personal preference. But anyway, I'll come back and re-review these after I get them installed, let you guys know whether I should have went, whether I'm happy with these, or whether I should have went with just a standard glass pack style muffler. I do find that glass pack style mufflers with packing tend to have more of a warmer sound, if that sounds correctly. They're not tinny and hollow sounding, but I personally have always liked the throatiness, the tinniness that you get out of a Flowmaster muffler, out of a packless muffler. Most of the mufflers out there, no matter how much you spend, the real difference is, yeah, there's a lot of R&D and design and how they flow, but most of the things that most of those things, they may flow better, but it's not really going to make a real world difference on a standard car. A guy just driving the street looking to do a few performance mods. For a guy who's really on the track looking to really squeeze every single little bit of horsepower, that probably makes a difference. If you have a dyno machine and you really are trying to squeeze horsepower, great, but I don't think there's a muffler personally on earth that you could put on a factory Honda Accord with mild modifications, air intake and exhaust. There's no muffler in the world that's going to give you 20 horsepower. You may get 5, maybe a different muffler might get you 4, maybe 6, maybe 3, but you're not going to get much more than that. So just keep that in mind when you are looking for an exhaust system. Try to be affordable. try to get something of decent quality, and I think that these are fantastic. So again, let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm always here to help, guys. I wish I could thank somebody for sponsoring the video, but I had to buy these on my own. So maybe next time, we'll see what happens. So guys, link is in the description. Check them out. As always, if I can help you guys in any way, let me know, and stay tuned. I will do a video of this on the car once she's done. Probably a couple weeks. So we'll see. Stay tuned, guys. Have a wonderful day, and take care.